I think she's the greatest comedian that's ever lived, and I wanted to be her. Hello, I'm Celia Imrie, and these are my film firsts for BAFTA. The first film I ever saw was The Wind That Cannot Read. My poor mother had 5 children. It was a very, very hot day in August. She didn't have a clue what to do with us, so she shoved us into the cinema and we watched this film, which was completely unsuitable. It was all about the war. My image will be forever in my head of a Japanese soldier being shot on the top of a mountain and blood coming out and everything. I was only probably about 7, but I'll never forget it. And it was simply because my mother had no clue what to do with the 5 of us, so shoved us into the cinema, thank goodness. My first audition, I think, was to play a chambermaid in a film called Death on the Nile, Agatha Christie film, which was jammed with stars. I didn't have a speaking role. I was part of a lineup of chambermaids. You know, when the guest comes to the big house, and it's the very beginning of the film, actually, and there's a long line of parlour maids and cooks and butlers and footmen, and then there was Harry Andrews, was the male head of the house, I suppose. But the interesting thing is, if you watch the film, bearing in mind it was my first film and I was very, very keen, and I still am, to be in every single shot. So if you watch carefully, I'm at this end of the chambermaids in one shot, then suddenly you move down the line, I'm suddenly in the middle. And then if you watch carefully, I'm suddenly at the end with all the chefs. How did I get away with it? I mean, I don't think I meant to do it, but I was obviously so keen to be in it and to make sure I was on camera. But you can't do that. Top, middle, end, and I'm in every single shot. Somebody wasn't looking in continuity. I don't know whether I was obsessed, but again, it's the first TV show that I can remember. Most of this, the people who are watching this will not know what I'm talking about, because it's many years ago, but it was Mr. Pastry. And it was really the first television that I can remember, because we didn't have television at the beginning. And he had a white moustache. I don't know whether he ever made any pastry, and I don't really know what else he did, but it made me laugh. I think the first television show I saw that made me want to act was I Love Lucy, because she's absolutely heart-stoppingly brilliant. If anybody has seen I'm not going to be able to do it now. Vegemite Vegemin. I don't know, she does it better. Oh God, or The Chocolate Factory. Really, every single episode. No wonder it's still on in America any time of the day. I was probably, quite young, about 10 or something. But the joy, actually, of later on in my life going to America and seeing it seriously from 10 o'clock in the morning through to 10 o'clock at night. And there are so many brilliant episodes. I think she's the greatest comedian that's ever lived, and I wanted to be her. The first quote or moment of a film that has stuck with me all my life, it's not actually a quote, but it goes like this. Da, 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 da. A very simple theme, but I bet you all know what it is. 2 notes. And it sends shivers down me all the time the minute I hear it. My obsession with sharks took me to Universal Studios, where I saw 3 lumps of grey on the side of the lot. Asked the driver of the little train we were on, what was this? And he said, oh, it's some B film about a shark. It'll never be made. And this was in, I suppose, about April of '75. And then by the time I got, because this was in Los Angeles, and by the time I got back to England, it was the biggest film explosion I can remember, actually. And I have a photograph sitting in Bruce's mouth. My first reaction to the script of the Thursday Murder Club was, we better get this right, only because I know how loved the books are. The book became my Bible, really. Any little nuance that I could find in the book and put in the film, because there wasn't time to do everything. I can remember there are 2 little bits which there isn't time for, but Joyce likes to put out the chairs for the daily meetings because she thinks people will like her more if she does that. And she likes to use her napkin at lunch because people will think she's posher than she is. You know, there are little tidbits like that that are in the book that I've shoved in anyway. My first day on set of the Thursday Murder Club was a walking scene, no words, which I can tell you is rather a relief for your first day, because of course you're nervous. Everybody is, I imagine. And it was a rather touching scene, walking along the corridor and then coming into the bedroom of Penny, who was in the story Elizabeth's best friend, very important in the police force in her life, but she's now really ill and not at all well. And I had to walk through the corridor and just stand and listen to the story. So it was a rather good first day in terms of feeling the layout and realising the seriousness of the story too.